Today we are going to study in detail about colloids. Now what are colloids? Colloids are also type of mixtures which have two components. The way every mixture has two or more than two components, here basically colloids have two components. Now these two components are called the dispersion phase and the dispersed phase. Okay, so we can see that a colloid is a heterogeneous system consisting of two phases, the dispersion phase and the dispersed phase. Now how to understand this dispersion phase and the dispersed phase? The dispersion phase is something which is continuous and dispersed phase is something discontinuous. Is a continuous phase in colloids. Dispersion phase is a continuous phase, whereas the dispersed phase is the discontinuous phase. Right? Now the particle size of colloids of dispersed phase is in between 10 to power minus 9 and 10 to power minus 6 meter. Okay. Now the dispersion medium is the constituent found in the greater extent. Okay. So what I have drawn here with red color line, it is the dispersion medium. It is found in the greater extent. Okay. And the dispersed phase is found in the lesser extent. The way we say solvent is more and solute is lesser. Similarly, the dispersed one is lesser and the dispersion one is in more quantity. Now, how to understand colloids in a better way? To understand it, we need to see the classification of colloids. Now, look at the classification of colloids. So, we will see classification of colloids. Colloids can be classified on the basis of state of the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. Like as I told you that there is dispersion medium and dispersed phase which could be solid, liquid and gas, right? So, depending on the state of the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium, colloids are classified as aerosols, foam, emulsion, sol, solid sol. We will see this later in detail. Now the second classification is based on the nature of interaction between the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. Based on the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium, the way they interact with each other, there are two types of colloids, the lyophilic colloids and lyophobic colloids. The third classification, the types of particles of the dispersed phase. So, colloids can be classified depending upon the particles of the dispersed phase. It can be multimolecular colloid, macromolecular colloid and associated colloid. So, let us see one by one. First of all, we will see state of the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. So, to start with, we will see the classification based on the state of the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. Now, what could be the state of dispersed phase? It could be solid, liquid or gas. What could be the state of dispersion phase? That also could be solid, liquid or gas, right? Now, the dispersed medium is uniformly suspended in a dispersion medium. Okay? When we see the classification based on the state of matter of the dispersed and dispersion medium, one thing we have to see is that the dispersed medium is uniformly suspended in a dispersion medium. Now, as I told you, the dispersed phase, the constituent which is present in the lesser amount, it can be a solid, liquid or gas. Similarly, the dispersion phase, the one which is in more quantity, in higher quantity, the one which is continuous, the dispersion phase can also be a solid, liquid or gas. Now, let's see the different types of colloidal systems with examples based on what is the state of the dispersed phase and what is the state of the dispersion phase. Have a look. So we'll see the colloidal systems. Aerosol, liquid in gas. So when liquid particles are suspended in gas, the kind of colloid we have is aerosol. For example, most common example all of us know, clouds. What are clouds? The small droplets of liquid, they are suspended in the atmosphere. So liquids present in gas. Deodorant spray, another kind, liquid particles are present in gas, right? And fog. Fog is also liquid particles which are we can say in much more condensed form. So the fog also is the liquid particle which is suspended in the lower atmosphere, which reduces the visibility. So liquid particles are present in the atmosphere around us, in the air around us. So we can say fog is nothing but the low clouds. When the clouds become low, they come to the surface of the ground, then they are called fog. What is fog? Nothing but they are again the liquid particles which are suspended in the air around us. So this kind of colloid is called aerosol. Let's see next. Now this is also aerosol. Here solid particles are suspended in gas. How can we say solid particles suspended in gas? Volcanic dust, for example. From the volcanoes, solid particles, very fine solid dust comes out and it gets mixed with the gas in the air around. So it's aerosol. Similarly, smoke. If you will see smoke also, in smoke it appears gaseous to us, but in smoke there are small solid particles which are present suspended in a gas. When this gas, it settles somewhere in the ground, we can see the dust particle, the solid particle. For example, those who live near cement industry, they see generally that on the surface of their houses, around their houses, they see the cement particles getting settled. Though they stay at a distance from the cement factory, but still along with the smoke, along with the air, the small solid particles come suspended in gas. So this is also an aerosol. Now what is the difference between the previous aerosol and this aerosol? The previous one, this one is called the liquid aerosol and this one is called solid aerosol. This is the difference. In one, liquid is suspended in gas. In second, solid is suspended in gas.